Hello guys! Can't believe I'm doing this. This is going to be my first sit-down vlog that will be dedicated to being a college student and studying, since quite a number of people have been requesting me to do a video about study tips, college vlog, how I study, my study routine during quarantine, and yeah. Well, I guess I'm doing it. I guess I need to do my intro. What is up, you guys? It's your boy KC Gardner coming at you with another sit-down vlog, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, as you can see in the title of this video, I will be showing to you my study routine, and I will be giving you some tips for all the students out there during quarantine who is trying their best to get through their ACADS. You know, I'm not really the best person to be telling you this, but I guess since I have been quite successful this term and I'm quite successful with my quarantine study routine, so I guess I might be sharing it to you guys. So before we start this video, I will be giving you 8 particular steps: preparing, starting, working at your own pace, doing something else, focusing, communicating, keeping on track, and finally, submission. So if you guys want to see me elaborate on those parts, please watch this video and watch till the end. So please don't forget to click that subscribe button and click the notification bell beside it to get notified whenever I post a new video. And without further ado, let's get to this video. So okay, I have notes, guys. This is my first time to do a legit study vlog, so might as well do an outline for this. So first and foremost, in every situation, may it be in school or during this quarantine, I guess it's best to be prepared. So I'm going to tell you guys what to prepare. For group cases or for group papers, as a leader, or even if you are not the leader, my advice would be first to create a to-do list for the group, maybe in Google Docs, so you could share it to your group mates. So why do you need a to-do list? Because it is easy to lose track of all your requirements in school. So might as well do a comprehensive to-do list for a specific task or a specific subject. What do you need to put in that to-do list? First of all, your goals per chapter, links to all your external files, your actual paper, your data results, your professor's announcement, anything that is related to that task. So it's best to put all the links consolidated in that file. So next thing is to assign parts. I personally am not really a fan of putting one person on a specific task. My group mates know that I do not do that. So what I really want is to assign more people on a single task and then also give them another task. So with this promotes collaboration and it prevents someone from just doing their part and not really understanding the paper. As a group, it is best to understand your whole paper, not just your part. So finally, at that to-do list, I suggest you to put all your personal notes at the very bottom and then put your name. Whenever you think of something that is related to that task or that subject, like literally anything, put it there. So if you are actually going to write the paper, you're not going to forget it, or at least when you glance through it, you will have more idea, or maybe your idea could create another idea from your other group mates if they see your notes, if that makes sense. And finally, in your to-do list, it is best to try to make it visually pleasing. You know, the reason why people don't really understand something like that is written is because the important parts are not really highlighted. So it is very easy to overlook those parts. So to do this, I suggest you to put legends, highlight your important dates, highlight the names of your group mates for the division of tasks. Next, we move on to the individual papers or individual tasks, exams, etc. My first step would be try your best to attend all your live classes if you have online classes, like through Zoom, through Canvas. This way you could interact with your professors and your classmates real time, and if you have questions, ask your professor directly. And also, this way you avoid cramming it. Yeah, being behind is the last thing you want to happen. But it's not always the case. If you wanted to take notes and search for some terms, it is best to watch a pre-recorded lecture so you could work at your own pace. So you could pause the video, and if you need to search something, you could just Google it. Just make sure that the class is actually recorded. For self-studying, I personally like to print all the slides and all the PDFs. But guys, please, if you are doing that, please try to conserve paper. Use the back. Use a recycled paper. If you have papers that you don't need, use the back side of it. Save the earth. This way, you could easily annotate, and personally, it is easier to browse printed notes. I don't know about you guys, but I really don't like reading through my laptop or my cell phone. I just don't understand anything I read if I read through screen. I want a physical paper. So for the second step, it's actually starting it. Guys, this is usually the hardest step whenever we are trying to do papers, assignments. Many people cram papers. But not starting it and cramming it won't get you anywhere. For group cases or for group papers, it is best for the leader to actually initiate the conversation and initiate to start the paper. This way, your group mates can see your effort and maybe, hopefully, they avoid cramming as well. Remember guys, after getting through the hardest part, which is actually starting, everything else will be way easier and smoother. Okay, for the third step, it would be working at your own pace, at your own time. Please don't mistake that for cramming. No to cramming, although I am very guilty of that. Working at your own pace and working at your own time only means that whether you are a morning person, that's great. If you were a night owl, that's also great. Just make sure you're one of those. Personally, I am not really the morning type of person. If I try to wake up early and do some paper, I really don't understand anything I am doing. I am just like blank, not being able to do anything. So I find myself more productive at night. Personally, I prefer sleeping late and finish my tasks than waking up the next morning very early trying to do what I need to do. That is not for me. Cases might be different. It's up to you. Also, try to schedule yourself and try to work with a specific length and a specific time for each subject. Try imagining that you are actually in school and do all the tasks depending on the real length or the real time of your subject. But again, that's just a tip. I personally do not do that. I just allot a time, like an hour and a half, for me to work for every requirement. But guys, do not overwork yourself, which leads to my fourth tip, which is not overworking or doing something else. As I said, try to make a schedule, but also allot time for other activities. If you want to go exercising, if you want to run, if you want to watch Netflix, it's okay. If you want to write, if you want to do your blog, if you wanted to start your own YouTube channel, that's great. These are all okay. You don't really need to be the most productive during quarantine, and doing this just avoids fatigue. Guys, sometimes when I just study the whole day, my body starts to hurt, maybe because I'm sitting all day, and I find myself not functioning well. By this I mean, I often get mental blocks. Avoid that. Avoid overworking yourself. What you really want for yourself is that you spend your time efficiently. And for my fifth tip is focusing. Focusing like a horse. After your leisure time, after watching Netflix, after watching YouTube, going back to working and studying. Since I mentioned that it is essential to work efficiently, I believe that the major distracting factor for everyone is actually social media. Whether it may be an Instagram notification, a new TikTok trend, your friend, or even your group mates chatting. As much as possible, if you are studying, put your phone on mute or turn off the Wi-Fi of your phone. Because usually when a notification comes, I tend to check it if it's important. I get really anxious if I don't check the notification. I always think, what if that is an emergency or it's something important? which usually isn't. Then when you check the notification, which is maybe an Instagram notification, you just end up scrolling through Instagram, checking out your social media, scrolling to Facebook, scrolling to Twitter, and that is a waste of your valuable time. You know guys, social media should actually be part of your schedule, so just allot a time for your social media. And for the sixth tip is communication. I can't stress how important communication is. Since I mentioned that you need to focus, communicating is essential for the people to know that you are actually busy. But, make sure that you're actually busy, not just slacking off. So my tip would be, first, communicate with your parents or your family. This is for them to avoid distracting you or calling you out, or worse, gate crashing during an online class. Next is to tell your group mates. This is for when you have lot of group works or you have papers to do. It is essential that you communicate to them or just even your leader for them to strategically plan or schedule their own times as well, because it's hard when a group is actually waiting for a specific person knowing that they are actually busy and doing something else. As much as you don't want to waste your own time, don't waste the time of others, please. And if necessary, tell your friends to not distract you with bombarding your messenger with nonsense memes or nonsense chit chats. I know I'm guilty of that, but just try to stop them or try to tell them that, hey, I'm busy, could we talk later? Could we save the gossips for later? And finally, communicate with your professors. Ask for consultations. It is best to seek help from your professors and ask for their opinions. This way you could get a wider sense or wider perspective of what you are doing. Because sometimes what you are actually doing is different from what the professor is actually trying to make you do or what they are expecting.
And then, this one, all right? So, my question for this option, how do we then address the question if we formed it as I formed it?
Siyang binigay na statement of the problem, yung sa atin na, which is yung focusing on the competenta.
And for my seventh tip, my second to the last tip, is keeping on track. Now I know a lot of you at home have your own deadlines and just a mounting pile of requirements that are all just piling up, and then only to realize that you forgot to submit one paper or even just an assignment. To avoid this, it is essential to write everything. Write on a sticky notes, put it somewhere you could see it. For me, what I do is I write a checkbox wherein I put there all the requirements per subject. So one sticky note per subject, and then I put the requirement, the deadline, and all the other stuff. And every time I submit, I check it off. And also writing on a calendar, on a weekly or in a monthly format is also helpful. This is so I know what papers and requirements to focus on. And also, the most helpful thing that I started during this quarantine is actually one of the tips of Isabel Candava from her study vlogs. Guys, if you really wanted to watch some study vlogs or if you want to have a study buddy, watch her vlogs. I will put her channel in the description box down below. Hi, Isa. So what I learned from her is that I need to write my goal for the day. For me, I do this the night before. So when I wake up, I have a glance of it. Actually, it's right there. So whenever you see it first thing in the morning, you mentally prepare yourself and, get yourself ready or get yourself focused on what really needs to be done for that day. Doing all the tasks that you wrote actually has a sense of fulfillment. I don't know, but that is the case for me. For that sticky note for the goals for the day is put all your academic requirements and even non-academic requirements like exercising, if you want to cook, if you wanted to run, anything that you really wanted to be done for that specific day, try to write it. With writing this, it makes me more focused on what really need to be done for the day and the priorities as well. And if I still have the time, I usually add some other loads, but this is not really usual. If there are new requirements, I usually schedule it for the next day. Remember that it is best to stick with your plan and goal. Writing it will just make it more probable that you will be doing it instead of just cramming it. And since every time I do this, I see my goals for the day, and if I'm not trying to make a way to finish that, I get guilty. So, guilt yourself. And finally, the last step, the 8th step, is actually submission. For most of the time, I personally set my own deadline the day before or 2 days before the actual deadline. With this, you will still have time to proofread and double check all the necessary content that needs to be written. Submitting early also lessens the stress for yourself. I really do not like the feeling of writing a paper the day it is due. It just feels like you are just doing it just to submit it, if you know what I mean. And so finally, that is it for my 8 tips for all the students during quarantine. And guys, I just wanted to say that this is not all the things I do, and really some may not really work for you, and you just really have to find a system for yourself. Try to look what's best for you. Not all my ways will be for you as well. And lastly, I just want to say that I still don't support the school's decision to continue online classes and online learning, because honestly, I just feel that it is mediocre. I don't really get the deeper understanding or the deeper knowledge that I wanted to get compared to face-to-face classes. Hashtag DLSU suspend online classes. But let's talk about that on another video. And so if you guys like this video, please make sure to click that like button. And guys, if you have your own system or your own tips for me or some other viewers, please make sure to put your tip in the comment section down below so I could maybe try it, or maybe other viewers will try to do that. Thanks so much for watching till the end of this video. I think this will be a quite long video, so please make sure to click that subscribe button and click the notification bell beside it to get notified whenever I post a new video. So guys, remember, this is Casey Gardner, where your world meets mine, coming out. Bye! Ayun, I'm done. Napaus ako. I'm tired. I did not even look at this camera. I need some water. Drink your water. Hydrate yourselves. Bye!